Yo, what's up, everybody? We back. We back in the building. You know what I'm saying? And we back with another installment of Check Down, where we check down on the top waiver ads for fantasy football. But first, before we get started, you know what I'm saying? We gotta have a special shout out to our sponsor. Football is money. Whether you're a diehard fan, fantasy manager, or just in it for the drama, we're here every week to bring you the action and analysis you crave. Plus, don't miss a beat. Follow Football is Money on all social platforms for extra updates and live game insights. Join the team, subscribe today, and let's make every game count on Football is Money. All right, let's get back into it, man. Special shout out to Football is Money. If you're into parlays and stuff like that, it's a great podcast to get into. So let's get straight into it, shall we? Sorry, guys, my dog is kind of restless. But it's been a good fantasy week for me, you know. I got one L, which I kind of screwed myself. I had Austin Eckler, who got like 28 fantasy points, and I left him on the bench over J.K. Dobbins. Never will happen again. Never will happen again. Had no idea that your boy Gus was back, but we're going to talk about that a little later. You know what I'm saying? Let's get straight into it, shall we? So, one of the top waiver ads for this week has to be Alec Pierce, wide receiver of the Colts. Now, Alec Pierce, I feel like he's one of those players that are being slept on very, very hard, you know, slept on, because this guy is one of the top receiving targets for your boy, Joe Flacco. Now, granted, at the recording of this video, Joe Flacco is not the starting quarterback. It's actually going to be Anthony Richardson, but also Michael Pittman has a back injury of some sort that's stopping him from, you know, playing. So Alec Pierce, I feel, will be a pretty good pickup. You know, 87.10 fantasy points averaging right now, 15% rostered, so you can find this guy, you know, pretty easily across the board. Let's see what he did last week, shall we? Pierce secured 4 of 7 targets for 81 yards and a touchdown in the Colts' 30-20 loss to the Bills on Sunday. Pierce recorded a team-high yardage total and checked in second in targets, an extension of a resurgent season for the third-year pro. Pierce also tallied his career-high 4th touchdown of the campaign on a 10-yard pass from Joe Flacco with 2 seconds remaining, a score that still carried plenty of meaning for fantasy managers. Pierce benefited from the absence of Michael Pittman in Sunday's game, but he should continue in a solid complementary role at minimum, even if Pittman returns for Week 11 road matchup against the Jets. Well, as you can see, I feel like they're prime and ready to attack, right? They're bringing their their franchise quarterback back in, and Anthony Richardson. I've heard he's been doing a lot of practicing on the sidelines and with the quarterback coaches, getting better, acclimated with the offensive schemes and such. So, you know, this could go any way for the Colts, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, you know. But do I trust Anthony Richardson? No. Do I trust Alec Pierce this week? No. But if you have a lineup, right, and you're not in the playoffs or even in the hunt, and you're trying to get back in the hunt and you don't have a receiver and you need a receiver, this guy would be a prime pickup for you. I don't need him, see? Because, you know what I'm saying, I set myself up for the W, you know what I'm saying? But if you need him, I feel like Alec Pierce is a great pickup. So check him out. And, check him out, man. Pick him up. If I were you, I'll pick him up if you need him, man. Next person up, Audric Estime. I don't know how to say his last name. I don't even think it's Estime, but it's something of that nature, right? He's been going off. He's been getting a lot of opportunities, and he's been taking full-fledged advantage of his opportunities. And that's what you want to do in the NFL. You want to take, you want to be the one who is in charge of your destiny, right? So here go his fantasy points right here, man. Let's take a look at them, shall we? Take a look at his fantasy points, okay? Last week, he got a total of 5.30 fantasy points. Now, most of you guys are going to look at that and be like, bruh, that ain't nothing really. That's, 5 points. But you got to understand the volume. Like, hold on. Listen, you got to understand the volume that you are getting out of these players, the upside value of these players, right? Because that's what's important. What is the upside value of him, right? If he gets all these opportunities, eventually, guess what? He's going to break for a long game. He's going to get a couple of touchdowns. You know what I'm saying? He's basically taking the place of the starting running back right there, if you want to be 100% honest. You know what I'm saying? Let's check out the headline for your boy Audric. You know what I'm saying? Don't take it from me. You know what I'm saying? They already talking about him. You heard him? Check it out. So, Audric Estime. Broncos head coach Sean Payton said Monday that he is encouraged with Estime's performance in Sunday's 16-14 loss to the Chiefs, adding that the rookie will continue to get more reps. Eric Dalala of the Broncos official site reports. After handling his largest workload of his rookie campaign, 14 carries for 53 yards, which is pretty impressive, Estime seems to have earned a vote of confidence from Payton. Veteran Javonte Williams could continue to take a back seat to the 21-year-old rookie after Williams logged just one carry in Week 10. Though he and Jaleel McLaughlin should dominate most of the reps on the passing downs, Estime has yet to be targeted across his 47 snaps and on offense through 6 games this season, but an expected uptick in the usage on the ground could result in solid fantasy production moving forward, particularly in non-PPR leagues, though managers may want to take a wait-and-see approach before inserting him in fantasy lineups. The Notre Dame product at least represents an appealing speculative pickup heading into the Broncos' Week 11 matchup with the Falcons. Hey, y'all heard it there. You feel me? My man is a rookie, right? And he is taking over the snap count away from 2 veterans. Think about that, man. And he's on the waiver wire. You feel me? He's just sitting there on the waiver wire, just waiting for you guys to pick him up. Just sitting there waiting. And you sitting here listening to me. You should pull out your phone and you should find out if my guy is available, and you should add my guy right now. And I mean right now. Because he's like this is my start of the week, really. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like this guy has an opportunity to shine bright, extremely bright. You know what I'm saying? They go against Atlanta. Atlanta's been playing like dog boo-boo. Let's be honest. They've been playing like dog boo-boo. And this guy has a chance to, turn the tables on his opportunities and really gain that high upselling touchdown value that, we need in fantasy, right? From our running back. So there was my guy, Audric. Let's move on, man. We're going to move on to our next prospect here. And I talked about him earlier, Gus Edwards. Gus Edwards, that's my guy. Okay? This is my guy. Like, let's get that correct. Gus Edwards is my guy. I love the Chargers. I love what they're doing right now on defense, mostly. But on offense, they have a split backfield now, right? So Gus Edwards, I feel, would be great for someone who's cuffing on J.K. Dobbins. If you want to really cuff that position, you got to have J.K. Dobbins. In contrast, when we talk about Derrick Henry, you're gonna need Keaton Mitchell. You want to lock him in. You want no one to get him out there, because if something happens to Derrick Henry, or if they start using Keaton Mitchell more, which they are, you know what I'm saying? You're going to want to need him on your squad, because my guy is the truth. Let's be honest, you know what I'm saying? So you guys see the Gus Edwards stats right there. He got 5.50 fantasy points, which is, it's all right. It's not the best. I mean, he's not like a prime-time decision-making guy or something like that. I'm not saying this guy is the end-all, be-all, right, for your fantasy lineup. You know what I'm saying? That's not what I'm saying. It's not what I'm saying at all. Calm down, man. I'm just saying, if you don't have a lot of options, right? We're gearing down to the last 8-9 games of the season, right? You don't have time to play in games, right? And you need production, and you having those players that are not giving you production. You need to start swapping out people in bye weeks. Gus Edwards is a perfect person that you can pick up on a waiver wire that'll help you guys out. Now, let's see what they're talking about. You know what I'm saying? 5.50 points, Gus Edwards. All right. Gus Edwards had 10 rushes for 50 yards in the Chargers' Week 10 win against the Titans. Edwards returned to the LA lineup after a 6-week absence following a serious ankle injury. His 10 carries were short of J.K. Dobbins' 15 rushing attempts, and he was vultured at the goal line by Hassan Haskins. Yeah, everybody was. Yeah, everybody who had like J.K. Dobbins but it's a long story. Edwards had a long rush of 11 yards against Tennessee. Kamani Vidal was a healthy scratch against the Titans, with Edwards back in the fold, meaning Edwards would likely be the team's RB1 should Dobbins miss any time over the next month and a half, which is great, and that's what I was talking about, right? That's what I was talking about. You got to keep hope alive, right? You can't, your season, if anything happens that goes sideways, guess what? Gus Edwards there to back you up if you got J.K. Dobbins. You got to jump on it. You know what I'm saying? Pause. Hard pause. Hard pause. So think about Gus Edwards, that he was originally supposed to be the number one backup, right? That was his job, But some things happen when your boy what's his name? Man, the coach, the guy who from Michigan, I forgot his name. His brother plays for Baltimore. But anyway, when that coach came, he got rid of Austin Eckler. Everyone knows that. And Gus Edwards was supposed to be the number one before he got injured, and got on IR. But J.K. Dobbins, both of those guys are very reliable at their position. That's why they get split backfield. It's like, pick your poison, right? You want to go with speed, burst, you know what I'm saying? That's what you got in Gus Edwards. And Gus Edwards also is a pass-catching running back, so that's also a plus, right? If you have a dual threat type of running back, both of them are really dual threat, but Dobbins is a more of a, in your face, aggressive physical runner, you know what I'm saying? So, but Gus Edwards is somebody I would pick up if I had a trash team. Like anybody out here watching, if you're watching, you probably have a trash team because you're looking for advice, right? So Gus Edwards will be a good handcuff in case anything ever happened to J.K. Dobbins. And we're hitting that part of the season where things can and will go wrong. You feel me? They can and will go wrong. Murphy's Law. Don't get it twisted. Murphy's Law is real. Whatever can go wrong will go wrong in fantasy. And it's crazy. It's like you feel it sometimes. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's Gus Edwards. Pick him up. He's available in, I believe, about 18% of leagues across Yahoo Fantasy. So, I mean, not a lot of people have them. Go ahead and get them and cuff them up. All right, next up, we got a guy that plays for a team that's in, I wouldn't say in disarray, but it's more like a how can I put it? It's like a rebuild / awakening type of deal. And that person that I'm talking about is Jonnu Smith, tight ends for the Miami Dolphins. Yes, indeed, he feed the needy. This guy, he's an impressive young man. I'm not going to even lie to you, boss. Pretty impressive. He's very slept on. Don't get me wrong. Miami, at this half of the season, it gets kind of grim for them, right? Because, I mean, let's be honest, bro. Your boy Tua, he has a hard time playing in the snow or cold weather. I don't know what it is. It's like you need to get in an ice box or a freezer or something, bro, and just go in there and start throwing passes just out of nowhere or something. I don't know what he should do, right? But the way he's been playing right now is amazing, right? Coming back from a major head injury and just getting right up in there and just leading your team it's a very proud moment for anybody who is a Miami Dolphin fan, right? Scary sometimes, like when he got kneed in the head last Sunday or Monday. Terrible. Got kneed in the head again. He's not protecting his head again, but what can you do, right? Anyway, here goes Jonnu Smith's stats right here. He has 6.00 stats. He has a total of about 17 points over the last 3 games, right? So he's been very productive in the tight end position. And the tight end position right now in fantasy is very slim. You know, it's hard to find people that can produce. Well, this guy is a huge target, and I feel like because of the cold weather that Tua has, you know, complications playing in, I feel like that Smith will be a great check down. Check down, like you know, check down, like the show, right? He'll be a great check down option, you know. Tua is he's feeble in the cold, so I feel like this guy will get a lot of targets moving forward. And with it being a short, you know, it's not a lot of tight ends out there, right? So this guy will be perfect if you're looking for a tight end. If you got some teams on bye weeks, you know what I'm saying, a couple of players you can't just throw in, I would throw in my boy, you know what I mean? So let's see what they have to say about my boy, you know what I'm saying, this past Monday. Shout out to we. Cole leads team in receptions. Smith brought in 3 of 4 targets for 45 yards in the Dolphins' 23-15 win over the Rams on Monday night. Smith had one of the Dolphins' 2 catches of 30-plus yards on the night and tied Jalen Waddle for the team lead in receptions. The veteran tight end also checked in second in both receiving yards and targets, and Smith now has between 45 and 96 receiving yards in 4 of his last 5 games. He's also now logged 16 targets from Tua Tagovailoa over the quarterback's first 3 games back from his IR stint due to a concussion, keeping Smith in the fantasy conversation at the fickle tight end position heading into a favorable Week 11 home matchup against the Raiders. Hey, I'm just saying, man, this sounds like I haven't even read this either. This is just what I know from watching, right? A lot of people, like, check this out, man. A lot of people, they look at stats. You know, they go to the stat book and they get online and check out stuff and try to act like they're some kind of guru. But no, bro, real gurus watch the games and they understand what's happening. You got to understand what's happening, right? Like, if you don't know Trey McBride is that tight end, then there's something wrong with you. There's something wrong with you, bro. Like, real talk, you know. That's just one of the tight ends, you know, that I feel like people sleep on, you know what I'm saying? And it's terrible. Let's be honest. Let's be terrible. But Smith, perfect addition to your team if you're missing a tight end on a bye week or you have injuries at the tight end positions, you know. So Smith, Pick him up, man. So next on our list is someone that, before I put this guy up, right? I don't want people to judge me, right? I'm not saying this guy is the savior of your league, right? All I'm saying is, if you need a player that has high upside value, that may be able to do special things for your team, either eventually or immediately or possible. Like, this is a boom or bust guy right here that we're going to put on here, okay? So bear with me. Don't judge me. Check him out. Marquez Valdez-Scantling, currently playing for the New Orleans Saints. Let's be real, man. Let's put his stats up, you know what I'm saying? Let's put his fantasy stats up and see what we're working with here, right? Marquez Valdez-Scantling has he's emerged, but as you can see, he's not dependable or reliable. And he's definitely not one of the prime targets of your boy Derek Carr. So that makes us worried, right? When we make this selection, when we choose the team or the players that we want to play, right? You got to be smart. Would you start this guy next week? I probably would if I had nothing, right? If I was like desperate and I just needed something to possibly happen, right? This guy would be that guy. He got 24 points, you feel me? He had got 2 touchdowns, you feel me? But the game before that, he got 1 point. And yeah, that's sad because he got 0, 0, 0, 0. I don't know if he was injured. I don't know this information. All I know is my guy has only 29 fantasy points and he scored 24 just yesterday. It's not the best, right? So you have to play at your own risk. If I was anybody and I just wanted to, be on the waiver wire and add somebody because they got hurt, I would just pick them up and just leave them on my bench. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'll just pick them up, leave them on my bench, and just worry about, see what he does later. You know what I'm saying? See what he does far later in the season, right? So let's see what he did. We got report cards and stuff out, right? So Marquez Valdez-Scantling strikes for 2 touchdowns against Atlanta. Valdez-Scantling caught all 3 of his targets for 109 yards and 2 touchdowns in Sunday's 20-17 win over the Falcons. He hauled in both of his Saints touchdowns on the day, and his only non-scoring catch went for 67 yards. It was a stunning performance from the veteran wideout, who came into Sunday with only 3 catches for 31 yards on the year, but with Rashid Shaheed knee lost for the season and Chris Olave concussion lacking a clear return date, Derek Carr seems to have found his new big play threat. Valdez-Scantling will try to solidify his spot in the New Orleans pass attack in Week 11 against Cleveland. Hey, like I said stuff similar to that. I didn't think about Rashid Shaheed and Chris Olave being injured. That's even better, right? That's even better. You got to pay attention to these things. Don't always pay attention to the projections, people, when you're playing fantasy football. Watch the game with your 2 eyes that God created for you, right? God created these eyes for you to see things, for you to understand things, for you to know things, okay? So when you look at this, what do you tell yourself, right? What do you say when you see these stats? You can say a number of things. You could be like, I don't know if I want to play him. I want to see if he, what he's going to do. But after reading that, I got information, right? I don't have to do what it says. It doesn't have to encourage me to make a decision or not. What encourages me to make a decision is me watching him burn people like a bad perm, like the entire game. That like the entire game, no one could tackle this guy. The entire game, he clowned. Like the entire game, no one could hold him. Granted, it was against Atlanta. You see what I'm saying? Atlanta doesn't have the best, pass defense, and like they have a lot of things over there going on in Atlanta. It's like that team is so up and down and around. It's ridiculous, right? Kirk Cousins is gonna get destroyed and hurt if his O-line doesn't protect him. I'm just gonna throw that out there. But Valdez Scantling, New Orleans, Derek Carr, he likes to bomb it. That's his thing. I mean, if you got players on bye weeks, if you got problems at that position, I suggest you guys make that play. Go to the waiver wire, pick them up. Your team is trash. If you need, I'm gonna put it like this: anyone that I put on this list, right? Any player that you guys saw on this list, they're trash right now. And you are desperate. You need help. Like the season is like everything's going away, right? Your hopes, your dreams of making the playoffs is going away. If you need any one of these players, it is diabolical. Your season is diabolical right now, and you need to start addressing some situations in your lineup, because these players are not like must starts at all by any means. They're not. These are, I am desperate, I need to make a play type of players. I respect them all, right? Except for, but you heard the upside. But upside is, if they start, I will play them. Like the running back from Denver, I would play him because he's the running back from Denver, right? And he's starting, and he's a rookie, and he has fresh legs, and he's ready to get stuff popping. But yeah, man. If anybody has anything they want to add, any questions, go ahead and hit me up in the comments section. I appreciate you guys, man. And remember, these guys are not must starts. Don't go in the comments saying, you told me to start. I'm not telling you to do anything. I'm telling you, if you're desperate, these are the guys for week 11. Check down. You need to pick up. Do it now, man. Until next time, I'm out of here. One love.